When I say that Pep is hated by envious people, I mean it. We just conquered the Carabao Cup against Arsenal, but the outside world is already trying to tear us down. I have two huge updates for you. A bitter attack from Wayne Rooney on Pep Guardiola regarding Phil Foden, and a truly shocking admission from Pep about Arsenal that has left the entire football world speechless. Stick around until the end, because we're getting straight to the point. No fluff, just the real talk you need as a citizen. Let's get right into the fire, because what Wayne Rooney said on the BBC has me absolutely fuming. We're sitting here celebrating a 2-0 win over Arsenal in a cup final, and instead of talking about the trophy, the media and rival legends like Rooney are trying to stir up a crisis. Rooney basically went on air and slammed Pep for bringing Phil Foden on in the 90th minute. He called it a charity substitution. Can you believe the nerve? A United legend trying to lecture our genius manager on how to handle our star boy. Rooney is acting like Pep is disrespecting Phil, saying it's sad to see a player of his level being treated like a youth prospect just to get a medal when the game is already won. But here's the reality that people like Rooney don't want to admit. The team is evolving. We all love Phil, he's a club legend already, but look at how Cherki and Semenyo have been performing. They've brought a directness and a physical edge that has been essential since our tough exit against Real Madrid. Phil has only started 4 of our last 13 matches, and while that's a hard pill to swallow, Pep is a winner first.
Rooney is trying to suggest there's a massive fallout behind the scenes, some secret beef between the boss and our number 47, but maybe it's just about who's in form right now. It makes you wonder if Phil is being unfairly phased out, or if Pep is just being the ruthless winner we know him to be. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Is Rooney just being a bitter rival trying to distract us, or do you think he actually has a point about how Phil is being handled? Because what Pep said next about Arsenal actually explains a lot about why he's being so selective with his lineup. Now this is where the energy of the whole season changes. Right after lifting that trophy, Pep didn't just celebrate, he stunned everyone by officially calling Arsenal one of the top 3 teams in the entire world right now. He literally put them on the same pedestal as Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Think about the weight of that statement. We just beat them 2-0 in a final, and our manager is giving them the ultimate flowers. Some might think he's just being polite, but this is a massive tactical statement. Pep is telling the world that beating this Arsenal side is an elite achievement because of what Mikel Arteta has built. They are leading the Premier League, they've been incredibly consistent, and by praising them like this, Pep is actually elevating our own win. He's saying that if Arsenal are top 3 in Europe and we just dominated them, then Manchester City is still the ultimate force to be reckoned with. But there's a real conflict here for us fans. We're currently 2nd in the league, chasing them down, and our boss is calling them the best. It's a genius move to take the pressure off our boys and put it squarely on Arsenal's shoulders for the rest of the title race.
Pep used the word implacable to describe them. He's recognising that Arteta has recovered their identity, making them a monster in every competition. This isn't just about a League Cup, it's about the mental battle for the Premier League. Pep knows that to catch a top 3 team in the world, we have to be perfect, and that's why he's making these tough calls with the squad. Does Arsenal really deserve that kind of praise from our boss after we just took them down, or is Pep just playing his usual mind games to keep everyone on their toes? This leads us into a much deeper situation regarding the future of this squad and how we move forward from here. Looking at the immediate situation, we have to realise that the Manchester City we're watching in 2026 is undergoing a tactical revolution. Winning that final wasn't just about the goals, it was about the structure. We're seeing a new dynamic where raw power and verticality on the wings are becoming the absolute priority for Pep. This is exactly why Cherki has become so indispensable in such a short time. He's providing that creative spark in tight spaces that used to be Phil Foden's exclusive territory, but he's doing it with a physical presence that seems to suit this new version of the system better. When you look at the sporting impact of these choices, it's clear that Pep is looking for players who can transition faster. Since the heartbreak in Europe against Real Madrid, the focus has shifted. We aren't just looking for control anymore, we're looking for the kill. Antoine Semenyo has been a revelation in that sense, providing a different type of threat that forces defenders back, creating the space that Erling Haaland needs to dominate.
It's a brutal reality for a player like Foden, who represents the traditional peak of Pep's ball control era, but the results on the pitch are justifying the manager's ruthlessness. We're seeing a team that is harder to play against, even if it means seeing our favourite homegrown hero on the bench more often than we'd like. But let's dig even deeper into this, because the shift we are watching right now isn't just about one game or one trophy, it's about the identity of Manchester City heading into the final stretch of 2026. When you look at the immediate reading of this situation, it's clear that the new City dynamics are favouring a much more explosive, unpredictable style of play. Ryan Cherki has stepped into that creative role, and he's doing things that are honestly hard to ignore. While Phil Foden is the master of that beautiful, rhythmic ball control we've loved for years, Cherki brings a certain level of chaos and individual brilliance that seems to be exactly what Pep wants to break down these low blocks in 2026. It's a tough realization for us fans who have Stockport Iniesta shirts in our closets, but the sporting impact is undeniable. Now, let's talk about the uncomfortable truth, the internal and political side of this. We know Thomas Tuchel is watching closely for the England squad, and there's a massive amount of pressure coming from the national team camp. They want Foden starting every week. Inside the locker room, you have to wonder how this sits with the senior leaders. We've got guys like Rodri and Bernardo Silva who have seen it all, and they know that Pep's word is law. But seeing a homegrown icon like Phil sidelined for the new arrivals like Cherki and Semenyo has to create a bit of a weird vibe.
It's not a war, as the media likes to call it, but it's definitely a period of friction where the old guard is being challenged by the new recruitment strategy that brought in talents like Abdulkadir Husanov and Vitor Rice to shore up the back while the attack gets a complete makeover. In the end, we are the champions of the Carabao Cup, and that is something to celebrate. Pep is a genius, and his ability to evolve the team is why we stay at the top. But the cost of that evolution is starting to become clear. Whether you agree with Rooney or you stand 100% with Pep, one thing is certain: the hierarchy at Manchester City has changed. We've got the trophy, but the questions about our number 47 aren't going away anytime soon. We need to stay sober about this. The situation is still developing, and the next few lineups will tell us everything we need to know about Foden's future at the club. What do you think? Is Pep right to prioritise the form of Cherki and Semenyo, or is he making a mistake by distancing our homegrown hero? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one of them. Make sure you're subscribed to Man City Sentinel for the most honest analysis you'll find anywhere. Smash that like button if you're proud of our boys for bringing that trophy home. I'll see you in the next one. Blue Moon Rising.